quick question for you. Are you, like right now, sabotaging your body's hardest working internal filter? You know the one. Works harder than a toddler who just found the cookie jar. Yeah, if you've never actually stopped to thank your kidneys, maybe today's the day. We're doing a deep dive into that super high-tech Brita filter inside you. And the goal today, pretty simple really. We're figuring out how some common habits, things that seem totally harmless, can, well, metaphorically rust out this filter. And more importantly, how to stop that process and maybe start some internal maintenance.
Okay, let's dive right in and maybe start by flipping a really stubborn piece of, frankly, bad health advice completely on its head. If you've ever worried about your kidneys, chances are someone, somewhere, told you to cut back on potassium. Well, let me just debunk that right now, nice and strong. The idea that potassium is bad for your kidneys, it's absolutely, fundamentally not true.
Whoa, hang on a second. That's huge. I mean, for decades, the story has been kidney problems mean potassium is the enemy. It's like right there next to sodium on the danger list.
It really is one of the biggest misunderstandings in, well, preventative health. Potassium isn't the enemy at all.
Right.
It's more like the undercover hero here. It actually protects the kidney from damage. Now, there is one exception, and this is critical.
Okay.
If you're already diagnosed with advanced kidney failure, like really advanced, then yes, the filter's too damaged to handle excess minerals. But for pretty much everyone else, potassium is like a defense mechanism.
A defense mechanism? How? How does that work?
Well, think about it. What's the #1 killer of kidneys long term?
High blood pressure.
Exactly, high blood pressure.
Yeah.
And potassium is absolutely essential for helping to lower high blood pressure. Plus, it's crucial for balancing out sodium. If you've got way too much sodium and not nearly enough potassium, you're basically forcing that filter to work overtime, right? Constantly straining it.
Ah, okay, I see. So it's not the potassium itself, it's the imbalance between sodium and potassium that's the real stressor. So if potassium's our friend here, our
Yeah.
security blanket, how much do we actually need? Because you mentioned 4,700 milligrams before we started, and that sounds like a ton.
It is a massive amount.
Yeah.
It really is. And that's why most people honestly don't get anywhere near enough. You can't just get that from, one banana or popping a few pills. You need real, whole, nutrient-dense foods. We'll definitely get into those specifics. But hitting that 4,700 milligrams daily, it's one of the best ways to tackle that sodium issue, and actually, it helps reduce the risk of kidney stones, too. Potassium helps stop oxalates binding with calcium.
Okay, let's unpack this then. We found our hero, potassium. Now, if potassium is the good guy, who are the supervillains? What's actually doing the long-term damage? What's, rusting out our internal Brita filter? Let's start with probably the biggest one, the undisputed heavyweight champ of kidney damage. And it's likely something you had for breakfast.
Yeah, the biggest culprit, by a huge margin, is sugar. And also starches that turn into glucose really fast in your body.
Right.
And we really need to pause here because this is sort of the core idea. When you eat too much sugar, especially the refined stuff, it causes something called oxidative stress. And you can literally think of oxidative stress as rust, actual rust.
Rust, like metal rusting.
Pretty much, yeah. Glucose reacts with proteins and fats floating around in your blood, and this creates these things called free radicals. They're unstable molecules. And these free radicals basically attack the delicate filtering parts of your kidney. It's like pouring something corrosive into your engine every single time you spike your blood sugar and insulin. It's that high insulin level day after day. This silently stresses and ultimately wears down the filter over time, causes inflammation, scarring.
Wow. Okay, that rusting analogy just became terrifyingly clear. So we're not just talking about like an occasional donut here. It's the chronic high insulin, the constant high blood sugar, forcing the kidneys to clean up this corrosive mess over and over.
That's exactly right. And speaking of corrosive messes, there are other common culprits that kind of fly under the radar. Let's maybe talk about your medicine cabinet first.
Oh, no. Okay, hit me. What am I doing wrong now?
Well, NSAIDs. Things like ibuprofen. Stuff everyone takes for a headache or sore muscles. Those can be massive stressors on the kidneys, especially if you use them chronically, like all the time. They basically constrict the blood vessels going to the kidney, which reduces blood flow and can cause damage over time. And it's not just NSAIDs. Lots of synthetic meds, certain antibiotics, even corticosteroids like prednisone, they all take a toll on those little filtering units.
Wait. Ibuprofen, the stuff everyone thinks is totally safe. How does damage from that compare to the long-term sugar damage? Is it worse?
It's a bit different. NSAIDs can cause more, let's say, acute damage. A single dose here and there is usually fine for most people. But Using them constantly can cause serious, sometimes more immediate problems with the filtering itself. Sugar and insulin, that's the long game damage. The slow, quiet erosion over decades, that's what leads to the big diagnoses down the line.
Got it. Slow burn versus acute stress. Okay, what else is on the villain list?
Well, moving beyond meds, you've got all the environmental toxins we're kind of bombarded with, right? Pesticides on non-organic food, heavy metals, those artificial food dyes and processed stuff. Your kidneys have to deal with all of that, identify it, process it out. And for anyone who loves fizzy drinks,
Uh-oh.
yeah, beware of the soda trap. The huge amount of phosphorus in many sodas is incredibly damaging to the kidney structure itself. And yeah, of course, alcohol is on that list too.
Okay, so it feels like we're caught in a pincer movement. High internal stress from sugar, and then this constant bombardment from the outside meds, toxins, phosphorus. Sounds like our kidneys are basically running a marathon
Huh.
while on fire.
That's not a bad analogy, actually. They really are under a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
But look, this isn't a doom and gloom story. There's hope. We can stop the rust. We can even reverse some of it by using the right dietary strategies, managing that insulin level, getting enough vitamin D, magnesium, and our hero, potassium. You really can counteract a lot of these damaging effects and actually promote internal healing.
Right. Okay, good. Enough defense. Let's play offense. Let's build that defense system. You mentioned strategy, like a 7-point plan. Let's call them the 7 pillars of filter maintenance. Sounds like a roadmap to, well, a happier filter. Let's kick off with pillar 1. Embrace the low oxalate crew. So specific veggies that help the kidneys without increasing the risk of those awful kidney stones.
See, exactly. We want the A-team here. Vegetables that do specific supportive jobs. Asparagus, for instance. It has an enzyme that really helps with detoxification. Then you've got celery, bell peppers, great source of vitamin C to fight that oxidative rust cabbage, cauliflower, and garlic.
Yeah.
Garlic's amazing. It has allicin. All of these are naturally low in oxalates, so they kind of glide through the filter without causing extra trouble.
Okay, low oxalates.
Yeah.
But you brought up a famous villain earlier, spinach. Everyone knows spinach is packed with oxalates,
Yeah.
so we just avoid it forever.
Okay.
Plague.
Absolutely not. No.
Wow.
This is where food chemistry gets kind of fun, actually. You can eat spinach. You just need a secret weapon.
Yeah.
And here's your slightly comedic defense. Pair it with calcium.
Calcium.
Yep. Eat your spinach with cheese or yogurt or something calcium-rich. The calcium binds those oxalates right there in your gut before they even get absorbed into your bloodstream. Stops them from traveling down to the kidneys where they could beat up with calcium and form stones. It's like a culinary handcuff for the oxalate villain.
A culinary handcuff. I love it. Okay, so start thinking sad salads. Start thinking cheesy spinach dip. That's advice I can definitely get behind.
Precisely. Okay, moving on. Pillar 2. Magnesium for the win. We talked potassium, but magnesium is its crucial partner. It's essential for protection and especially important for preventing stones. In fact, a lot of kidney stones actually start because someone's deficient in magnesium.
Right. But leafy greens have magnesium, don't they? If we're eating those, why is supplementation often suggested? Is food just not enough?
Yeah, that's often the case. For many people, food intake just isn't quite enough, partly because our soil isn't as rich in minerals as it used to be. Plus, magnesium gets used up really fast when you're stressed. So if you do supplement, we generally recommend magnesium glycinate, about 400 milligrams a day.
Glycinate specifically. Why not the common citrate or oxide forms you see everywhere?
Good question. Glycinate tends to be much better absorbed by the body. And, crucially, it's way easier on the digestive system, less likely to cause unwanted side effects. So you get the kidney-protecting benefits without the tummy trouble. It's a really powerful, though indirect, protector of the filter.
Okay, glycinate. Noted. That distinction's important. Now let's talk gut health. The source of everything, right? That brings us to pillar 3, the gut brigade.
Right. So probiotic foods, things like kefir, real yogurt, sauerkraut, kimchi, these are all generally great for overall health. But here's where it gets really interesting, specifically for the kidneys, for the filter. We can actually use specific types of gut bacteria to lighten the kidney's workload.
How does what's happening in my gut directly help my kidneys way over there?
Well, one of the kidney's main jobs is filtering out metabolic waste. A big one is urea, which is just a waste product from breaking down protein. Now, if we have certain helpful bacteria living in our gut, they actually produce an enzyme that helps process and eliminate some of that urea right there in the intestine. Yeah. This literally takes a significant amount of stress directly off the kidneys. Less urea for them to filter out of the blood.
Wow. Okay, so some gut bugs are actually doing part of the kidney's job. Who are these little microbial heroes?
The two main players we know about right now are Lactobacillus casei and Bifidobacterium longum. Adding those specific strains maybe through targeted probiotics, can really help lower that circulating waste load.
Fascinating. Okay, on to pillar 4. Protein management. This sounds like that tightrope walk you mentioned. Protein's essential, but the waste product, urea, stresses the filter.
Exactly. It's all about balance. The key here is moderate, high-quality protein. Too much protein, any kind, just stresses the filter unnecessarily. If your doctor starts seeing excess protein waste, like albumin, showing up in blood or urine tests, that's a sign you're probably overtaxing the system.
Okay, moderate. What does that actually look like on a plate? Are we talking grams, or is there an easier way to eyeball it?
Yeah, grams can be tricky. A good visual guide is aiming for maybe 6 to 7 ounces per meal, maximum. That's roughly the size of a standard deck of cards, or maybe the palm of your hand. And remember, that's an upper limit, not something you have to hit. Focus on quality sources that also give you healthy fats. Think wild-caught fish sardines are fantastic, maybe cod liver for omega-3s, good quality eggs. Just don't go overboard, especially if you're already doing something like intermittent fasting, which we'll get to.
Right, quality over quantity. Makes sense.
Okay, pillar 5 is the anti-rust paint job. Antioxidants. This is how you directly fight back against that oxidative rust caused by high blood sugar we talked about. You want to basically coat your filters in protective anti-inflammatory compounds.
Got it. So what color paint are we using for this job?
Think deep, rich colors, blues, reds, purples. So blueberries, blackberries, raspberries, strawberries, and don't forget beets. These foods are packed with antioxidants that neutralize those damaging free radicals and protect the delicate kidney structures from inflammation.
Berries and beets. Easy enough.
Next up, pillar 6. Meet quercetin, the fire extinguisher. Quercetin is a specific type of bioflavonoid, and it has incredible anti-inflammatory powers, especially helpful for kidney tissue. It helps prevent scar tissue from forming and actively works to put out that fire of oxidative stress.
An internal fire extinguisher. Love it. Where do we find this stuff?
It's actually pretty common. The best sources are humble onions, both white and red onions. Eating them raw or sautéed works well.
Onions, okay.
Yeah, it's super simple integration, right? Chop up some onions, cook them with those moderate-sized eggs in the morning, boom. Protein, antioxidants from the yolk maybe, and quercetin all in one go.
Nice. Okay, and the final pillar, pillar 7.
Extra virgin olive oil, EVOO. This stuff is like liquid gold for inflammation.
Really? Olive oil for kidneys?
Oh yeah, it's
Yeah.
dynamite, honestly. It helps lower inflammation throughout your whole body, which naturally protects the filter. Plus, it's actually great for helping prevent kidney stones. It seems to help lubricate the pathways, maybe relax things a bit. And this is but quality matters hugely here. You need real high-quality extra virgin olive oil to get those beneficial compounds, those polyphenols.
Where?
Look for oils that specifically mention high polyphenol content. Italian varieties often have a good reputation for quality control.
Okay, quality EVOO. Got it. So that covers the food pillars. But what about lifestyle? Let's talk hydration. We always hear, drink more water, flush the system.
Right.
Yeah.
But you mentioned earlier, maybe that's not always the best advice. It sounds counterintuitive. It does, yeah. But we need to find the sweet spot with liquids. Just like overloading with protein, consuming too much liquid, even water, forces the filter to work harder than necessary.
Yeah.
It's constantly processing huge volumes of fluid, which can be a strain in itself. The key is quality hydration, not just sheer volume.
Quality hydration. Like what?
My suggestion, consider making tea your main go-to liquid. Keep a pitcher of cooled herbal tea in the fridge.
Tea instead of water. Why?
Because of the polyphenols in tea. Those powerful antioxidants we keep mentioning. They do heavy lifting for the kidneys in another way, too. Crucially, they can actually bind with excess iron in your blood. And excess iron, much like high sugar, can also contribute to oxidative damage in the kidneys.
Huh. So the tea polyphenols grab onto excess iron. Interesting.
Yeah, it's another layer of protection.
Okay, so if we're swapping water for tea, which teas are on the kidney maintenance checklist.
For really good anti-inflammatory and maybe some gentle diuretic effects, focus on things like nettle tea, dandelion tea. That one's a well-known natural diuretic, turmeric tea for inflammation. And even naturally decaffeinated black tea is good. Just a small caution with green tea. It's loaded with antioxidants, which is great. But if you drink massive amounts, the caffeine can sometimes be a bit much for some people, potentially overstimulating. So just monitor how you feel with that one.
Gotcha. Nettle, dandelion, turmeric, decaf, black. Okay. And that leads us to the final, maybe most crucial habit. It's about giving that poor, overworked filter a break, right? A vacation. Intermittent fasting or IF.
Yes. Think of your kidneys like Like a washing machine again. If you keep throwing dirty clothes in every single hour nonstop, the
Yeah.
machine never gets a rest, right?
Identifies.
Eventually the motor burns out. Intermittent fasting is like finally hitting the off switch for a while. It supports the kidneys for two really big primary reasons.
Okay, what are they?
First, pretty obviously, you drastically decrease the immediate stress just by not forcing them to constantly filter food inputs and byproducts. You give the whole filtration system a much-needed rest period. Second, and arguably even more important, IF significantly drops your insulin levels.
And we now know high insulin is like that corrosive acid, the rust causer.
Exactly right. When insulin drops, it's like the corrosive attack stops. This allows the kidneys to actually begin the process of cellular repair and cleanup. It's a process called autophagy. They can start healing themselves. This is why the ultimate combination, the real power move here, is combining intermittent fasting with that low-carb, low-sugar dietary approach we talked about. You starve the filter of the main damaging agent, sugar, and you give it consistent periods of rest to heal. That's how you create the optimal environment for recovery.
Wow. Okay. This has been incredibly illuminating. So, pulling it all together, what's the big takeaway here? It feels like we need a major shift in perspective. We need to stop being so scared of potassium, unless you have advanced disease, of course, and put the real bullseye squarely on sugar, starches, and that resulting high insulin. Basically, stop letting your high blood sugar send your poor internal filter into early retirement.
Perfectly put. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, the body's filtration system, it doesn't actually need constant work, constant flushing. What it needs is smarter thinking from us. It needs high-quality inputs, less corrosive stress, and critically, those periods of restorative rest to heal the damage we've often unknowingly been causing. We need to stop treating it like some kind of indestructible garbage disposal and start treating it like the incredibly sophisticated, vital piece of high-tech equipment it actually is.
Absolutely. Well said. Okay, so for you listening right now, here's your challenge, your first step maybe. Which filter-friendly vegetable are you going, Team Asparagus or Team Garlic, is going to be the first hero on your plate tonight?